Every town has its secrets, but there's something about the town of Halloridge that's different, something darker. If you take the road south, past the old mill and into the mist-covered woods, you'll find a crumbling train station. Its name is faint now, the letters barely legible through the years of dirt and decay. Whispering Junction. To the townsfolk, it's a place to avoid, a shadow in the corner of their collective memory. But for the curious, for those who don't heed the warnings, it's a destination, a final one. They say the station was alive once, decades ago. Trains came and went, carrying travelers to places far beyond the little town. But one night, everything changed. A train arrived in the dead of night, one that wasn't on the schedule. The conductor didn't speak, the passengers didn't move, and when the train left, so did the station master, the night crew, and every soul unlucky enough to be there. The stories say the station has been cursed ever since. Of course, most people think it's just a myth, a spooky tale to keep teenagers from wandering into dangerous ruins. That's what I thought too, until I went there, their twisted branches reaching like skeletal hands. The closer I got, the quieter the world became. No birds, no wind, just the crunch of my boots on the gravel and the faint sound of my own breathing. And then I saw it, the station. It looked exactly like the photos I'd seen online, only worse. Time hadn't just worn it down, it had devoured it. The roof sagged, the windows were shattered, and ivy crept through every crack, as if nature itself was trying to pull the place into the ground. But it wasn't the decay that unsettled me. It was the feeling, the sense that I wasn't alone, that someone or something was watching me. That's when I heard it, a whisper. It was faint at first, almost imperceptible, like the wind through the trees. But as I stood there, it grew louder, clearer. It was saying something. My name. No, I told myself, shaking my head. You're imagining things. But deep down, I knew I wasn't. The sound wasn't coming from outside. It was coming from the station, from deep within its shadowy halls. Against every instinct, I followed it. The whispers led me to the ticket booth. It was surprisingly intact, as if it had been preserved while everything else decayed. Dust coated the counter, but behind the glass, I saw something that made my blood run cold. A single train ticket. Yellowed with age, it bore no destination. Just one word written in faded ink. Admitted. And below it, my name. I stumbled back, my flashlight shaking in my hand. How was this possible? How could my name be on a ticket for a train that hadn't run in decades? My mind raced, searching for an explanation, but none came. And then the whispers returned, louder this time, echoing around me, overlapping, growing into a deafening call. Ran. But no matter how far I went, I couldn't find the exit. The station seemed to stretch on forever, its corridors twisting and turning like a maze. The symbols on the walls seemed to shift and change as I passed, forming words I didn't understand. And the whispers, they followed me. Panic clawed at my chest as I stumbled into what I thought was the main hall. But instead of the door I'd come through, I found myself standing on the platform. The tracks stretched into the darkness, disappearing into the fog. And that's when I heard it, the sound of a train. At first it was faint, just the distant rumble of wheels on steel. But it grew louder, accompanied by the shriek of a whistle. A light appeared in the distance, piercing the fog, growing brighter with each passing second. My heart pounded as the train came into view. It was old, impossibly old, its metal rusted and its windows dark. It screeched to a halt in front of me, the air around it thick with the smell of burning coal. The doors slid open. No one stepped out. No conductor, no passengers, just an empty, gaping doorway that seemed to beckon me inside. I froze, every fibre of my being screaming at me to run, but my feet wouldn't move. It was as if the train itself was pulling me in, drawing me closer with an invisible force. And then I saw it, my reflection in the train's windows, only it wasn't me. The figure staring back at me was pale, gaunt, with hollow eyes and a twisted smile. I stumbled back, but the reflection didn't move. It just stood there, watching, waiting. The whispers reached a crescendo, a cacophony of voices that seemed to echo inside my skull. My vision blurred, and before I knew it, I was standing at the edge of the platform, 1 foot hovering over the gap between me and the train. The whispers weren't just calling me now, they were commanding me. And then, nothing. I don't remember what happened next. When I woke up, I was lying in the woods, miles from the station. My flashlight was gone, my phone was dead, and the ticket was in my pocket. I've tried to forget that night, to convince myself it was all just a nightmare. But every time I close my eyes, I hear them, the whispers, calling my name. So if you ever find yourself near Whispering Junction, don't go looking for it. Don't listen to the whispers, because if you do, you might never come back. Thank you for watching. If this story gave you chills, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And remember, some places are better left undiscovered.